Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we're going to be working back on the Yashio Factory OG S15. A few little things have changed since I picked up the camera last, so let me give you a quick update. I have already removed the inner plate here and shaved off 5mm from the little neck thing here, or whatever you call it. So that's good now. Yeah, I've also got a different bearing here, and that is because we have changed to using a Nismo Copper Mix twin plate. The reason for that was the clutch that was actually on this was for a 5-speed. We needed a 6-speed one. So that kind of just makes the flywheel stick out a little further. So that's why that's happening. But otherwise, everything's kind of ready on the transmission side of things. I've prepped everything except for the shifter relocation. It's best to obviously do this out of the car. I don't think I could possibly do this in the car, especially once it's in the Silvia. So what we have to do is take this off and put this one on. And this is kind of like the magic with the whole Alpha Omega Racing kit, because this goes on there and extends it further back here. And I'll show you real quickly how this all kind of lays out. That ends up going there, and then your shifter ends up being able to be further back. So that way we don't have to cut any holes in our chassis. We don't have to bash anything with a hammer. We are good, and we've got a big box. I know a few of you guys were also commenting that that box is going to be really, really loud. Yes, it has straight cut gears all the way up to 4th, but the 5th cruising gear is actually a normal stock gear, which means on the highways, this thing's going to be great. And I'm also planning to put some sound deadening on the interior around the trans tunnel and stuff to help with that. But this is, trust me, still going to be way better than that vibration noise that I had with my CD swap. I would rather hearing whines of a gear than hearing vibration from my SR vibrating and amplifying out of the shifter. It was a whole thing. With that out of the way, let's get into installing the shifter relocation kit. I'm also here with Genki, guys. You guys might remember him from a few other channels, and he's also helped out before, but it is the weekend. Daiki is helping Mekawa compete in D1 GP, so he's here helping me get this trans in, because I'm gonna need 2 hands for sure when we put that in, but let's get this done. The first thing you wanna do is get a little bit of a rag and push it in the hole there. That goes down into the transmission, because when you tap out these pins, they're gonna fall down, and you do not want those going in there. So we're gonna do that. Oh, first go, look at it, beautiful. All right, once again, glad we got that towel there. Use a magnet, grab the center pin. Now we gotta tap out the outer pin. Boom, she's out. Just like that. Now, we can't take this out yet, right? Because it just kind of maxes out there, because underneath here is like this little H pattern thing. So we'll undo those 2 10mm. I think we need to undo these 2, and then we should be able to pull the whole assembly out. Just be really careful when you take these little side locators out. There's a spring in there, as well as on this side, there's a little ball in there. So just use a magnet to get that all out. Don't lose those. And then pop these 2 10mm out. It's always a little tight. There we go. Perfect. Now, blow that out. Gonna keep that rag in there, because when we reassemble everything, I wanna make sure we don't drop anything into the trans. So for now, this bad boy, and this go in here. So cool how this all works. Look at that, beautiful. I really do wish that Nissan just made a stronger transmission for the Silvia, and Toyota made a stronger transmission for the Chaser. But then again, there's no way Toyota thought that anyone would ever use a Chaser JZX for what we're using them for today. Now we pretty much install the pins the same way we remove them, but in reverse. So tap them in. There we go. So sick, man. The next step is this, which replaces entirely the old one, right? So the old one had that kind of circle thing integrated into it, but this one has that. I've just installed the relocation plate, and then I've pushed this in as well, which is where now the shifter is going to be sitting in here and controlling everything instead of up here. We've got one of these compression pins again, and they just kind of tap straight in. Nice. It's not going anywhere. And now the OEM top plate should just sit straight on there. Jiggle it around, get that RTV to settle. Pop these Allen countersunk bolts in the top. Such a cool kit. All right, we'll let that sit for a bit. I like to let the RTV just cure for like 10 minutes so it gets a little firm, and then we'll compress it all down. Now that we're done with prepping the transmission, I wanted to show you guys the adapter plate. We've got the clutch all fitted on here. The reason why we changed to the Nismo Copper Mix one is because this is for a 6-speed, and that means that we don't have to machine the bell housing to equate for how the 5-speed clutch is a little bit of a shorter package. So see how long this comes off? Because of the 6-speed usually has the clutch like a little further out, as in the 5-speed it's more in. So you can run a 5-speed clutch, but that would mean you have to machine the surface, the face of the bell housing, but you can just use the 6-speed clutch and you don't have to do that. So that's why we went with that route. The other thing I wanted to show you guys is see these elongated holes here on the bottom of this adapter plate? That is if you decide to have a crazy built SR with like a PRP like crank brace or girdle, and this allows you to still bolt into the OEM oil pan even if it's been spaced down, because whenever you do a brace for your crank or main caps, it actually ends up meaning that there's a gap or a space that everything gets kind of shifted down for the oil pan, and that equates for that. So that is freaking awesome. But yeah, just something I wanted to kind of show you guys, and we're gonna get this all done. We have to take the starter motor out because we gotta drill the threads out, because now the threads are in the plate instead of in the starter motor. But yeah, I'm so stoked on this. It looks good. Let's get this thing in there. Look at that red, silver, and pink kind of reflecting off it. And also, I don't care what anyone says, the best alignment tool is a cut-off import shaft, every time. Going in?
Yeah.
It's in. Transmission is officially in. Everything went crazy smooth. I love this cross member here for the transmission. Made things so easy. Look how modular it is, and it looks awesome. Everything kind of went in like a dream, honestly. I'm really stoked, and I'm super surprised just how much room is everywhere, being able to get to the vent up there and all the wiring and stuff. And look at that placement. That's exactly why we got this kit. Perfect in the center, exactly where it needs to be. I'm so excited to drive this thing. I cannot wait. But one big problem is drive shaft. I don't know if I need to order one yet. When we were building the Bogan 32, I accidentally ordered the wrong drive shaft for it, thinking that it would fit based off some forum post that I found online. Well, it was actually for an RB25 in an S chassis. And I'm hopeful that it might just work. It might maybe fit, and we're about to find out whether or not I need to order another one. It's not a big deal if we have to. I can hit up the guys at Driveshaft Pro and they'll have one to me in like a week. If it fits, I will be super stoked, because this part has literally been sitting here for like the last year and a bit, and it's just wasted money unless it fits in something I have. So that'd be a win. Pulled this thing out of the depths of my shelving over there. Let's see if it goes in. Everyone touch wood. Oh, it might. We might be in luck. You are joking. It's like perfect. Hang on. We need to definitely measure this properly. 30 mil from there. Oh, that's tons of engagement. Yeah. Okay, so we have like 70 mil of engagement. So we're gooch. We are really good. Oh, I'm so excited about this. This is the best news ever. This drive shaft that's been sitting there forever. I paid so much money for this too. It now has a home. Oh, I'm so stoked. Before you guys say anything, don't worry. We're putting oil in the transmission. We've learnt that mistake, haven't we, guys? Even if the car's not running yet, I don't care. Transmission's in, it's getting oil. Never gonna forget that ever again. Now that we're done with the transmission side of things, I can start focusing on fabrication. New intercooler pipes, turbo/hot side, downpipe, all of that needs to get done. And then we'll be able to turn the key and hear this thing run again for the first time in the last couple of years. There's a few other things we want to change on the car too, but we can get this thing all fabricated and done, then I'll be stoked. At the same time though, I do just want to quickly add, if you want to get the same transmission swap kit that you saw me use with the RB25 box, going against an SR, then make sure you check out the link in the description and hit up the Alpha Omega Racing guys. Seriously, this kit was awesome. All the parts that came with it look amazing. They're super functional and the instructions were awesome and everything just went together super well. The fitment is unlike any other kit that I've seen and I'm stoked and I cannot wait to feel it when I take it for its first drive. Links in the description. Thank you Alpha Omega for helping me out with this kit. Now let's get into that fab work.
The next day.
You can't smell it, not yet, technology doesn't exist for that, but the smell that this car makes with the ethanol, so good. It's time to fabricate with this thing. You guys saw at the start of this video, we got trans in, everything is perfect. We now have to fabricate up some pipes. Before we do that though, I figure at the same time, I'm gonna fix a wheel from the Chaser. This is the first time I've cracked a wheel on the Chaser, I can say. These wheels that Valino makes and sells in Japan, I think they're available in other countries too, but they've lasted like 3 to 4 years of abuse at Ebisu, and this is the first one that I've cracked. That's it. So I'm just gonna drill out the crack, we're gonna weld it up, and then it'll be mint, and then we'll be moving on to welding the pipes together on that. Oh, and then you guys get to see the spicy turbo setup we're going with. It's good. Previously, the hot side that we had on this car was a G25 550. Super good mid-range, low-end, crazy responsiveness, which is great. But as I've kind of like spoken about previously, is we've had a lot of good results with using the G30 660 with a 0.61 rear housing on SR platforms, and the results speak for themselves. Daiki's car is absolutely a monster, and I kind of want to have the same turbo setup on this. This is a 2.1 liter though, so a little bit different, but we should see very similar results, especially considering we've got already an R-Tech exhaust manifold bolted on here and the Garrett 45mm gate. So, with that being said, it's time to show you the turbo that we're going to be putting on this. This is of course a Garrett G30 660. It's crazy how tiny a G30 is these days. Like that is really small, but they produce a ton of power. We have these, the G30 660 is on both of my RB builds, the Bogan 32 or the Baller 32 now, and then the 33.4 Skyline, just bigger rear housings for the more flow the RB is going to produce. And then this is the magic housing that makes all of this possible. Now, I'm kind of like wondering if I got together with R-Tech and maybe we made something like a 0.57 or 5.6 rear housing, maybe it would be even crazier. I don't know if they would choke the SR though, but regardless, this is still going to be plenty responsiveness. Considering the previous turbo setup we had on this was like an old TD06 setup, this is going to be amazing. Well, before the G25. It's definitely not going to be as responsive as a G25 would be, but it'll be more than enough and definitely drivable, but with a little bit more headroom for the top end. And I want this thing to be a little less responsive in a way, and that'll make sense for being able to keep traction at courses like Mayhan and stuff where it's really important. And we'll kind of explain a lot of that when we go and drive at those tracks, and we'll talk to some of the experts like Nelke, Shane, and even Casey will be able to explain it really well because they drive tracks like that all the time. But anyways, this is it. This is the hot side we're going with. G30 660 with a 0.61 rear housing, and it's gonna sit, just dropped my fire ring, but it is going to sit roughly there, like that. Nice. Maybe a little bit of a tilt, I don't know, but somewhere like that. So now let's get everything sitting in place. We'll fabricate all the pipes, and hopefully we'll have this thing running by the end of this video. Ooh, spicy.
So this is another street car.
Yes,
Does that mean I get to drive it too?
Yeah, I don't mind letting you drive this one. It's kind of bulletproof and I trust it.
Or you have this one, so you give me this one.
No. I just realized though, I don't think with the current handbrake setup, the seat doesn't move forward because the handbrake's like off to the side and the seat blocks the seat. We can put a pillow in the seat though and you can drive it. I don't mind doing that. You'll have fun with this car. You'll just be like, bah! Or everywhere. Oh, of course we're going external gate because we have to. It's the OG 15. Dude, I'm so excited that we're bringing this thing back. I feel terrible, like it's so dusty.
Yeah, we gotta clean it nice.
Everyone was complaining I called this like my abandoned S15, like because I like put it and abandoned it in the corner of the shop and didn't want to look at it.
I mean, it did feel like we abandoned it.
Oh, 100%. I was taking parts off it and everything and putting them on other cars. While I've been working on the OG S15, Daikie's been working on the comp car, something that has been needed for a very long time, which is just something I think we missed, which is stupid, and I'm kicking myself about this, but it's our hubs. Every single one of our hubs had play in them. It's stupid, like actually stupid. Like look at this rear hub. I don't know if the camera can do it justice, but just moving it by hand, it's got so much play. And this is why I kept losing my brakes. I kept thinking, oh, it's gotta be like a pinched line somewhere or something's moving that it shouldn't. It was the hubs the whole time because the hub, as it moves, the rotor moves and that's pushing the pistons back into the caliper. Then when I put my foot back on the pedal, it just goes to the floor because it's pushing the fluid back to where it's supposed to be. This one, tons of play too. Might be harder to see because there's a grease line there. But yeah, anyways, brand new GTR OEM hubs. It turns out all the hubs that were previously in this car weren't OEM ones, that are like aftermarket ones too. So maybe that's why they all went bad so quickly. I don't know, but.
Kind of cute.
Yeah, it's nice.
Flower.
It's kind of cool. The GTR hubs, they come, when they come brand new from Nissan, they're two-piece and you press this upper piece into the bottom. Now the front we run 350Z hubs with our angle kit. So those are just a straight bolt-in affair, but yeah, it's kind of cool. Super easy to do and something that is definitely on our maintenance list to triple check.
Every year change.
No, well, yeah, every year we should be changing them, but also it's just something we should be checking every round, and we're going to be buying spares as well and bringing them with us to the rounds too, because like that affected it so much. I had to keep pumping the brakes because it was just every time I put my foot on it, it'd go to the floor and I'd have no way to slow down the car. So that was another reason why like it was really hard for me to get that in a clip, purely because I jabbed the brakes and the car wouldn't actually move the brakes at all. But anyways, that's that. So new hubs going in, it's stupid. Check your hubs. They can cause so many problems that aren't just a wobbly wheel. I feel dumb. I feel really dumb, but so much stuff that happens at like with the comp stuff that I try to not even think about all of this stuff, and it gets, passed down the chain and everyone has a checklist and stuff, but it was just something that never made it on a checklist. So now it is. So now we'll always make sure it gets checked.
Are you a wobbly hobby?
What? Yeah, baby.
Remember back in the days when we had to weld something, we had to go to Okajan's place, and then we would ask him to weld, and then he won't wear the welding shielding thing.
Oh, and then he'd complain for the next week about how much his eyes hurt. I don't know what it is with old Japanese guys, but they do not like wearing welding masks. They just like squint and yeah, she'll be right.
Probably he thinks that he can, like, it's like a Hisaru effect.
Maybe. Time for a quick update. You would have just seen we have finished our intercooler piping and everything is on the car. I love how this pipe turned out. I love how that pipe turned out. Everything's good. All the vibrant stuff worked great and it ties beautifully into the Blitz intercooler there. It's kind of great. We were able to reuse a few little things here and there, but yeah, I think this turned out really, really good. Now we're going to start focusing on the down pipe. It's super important, especially with turbo technology nowadays, as well as the technology that goes into these exhaust manifolds. They've really worked out ways to create velocity and a lot of flow. So you need to make sure you have a very large dump pipe going to your exhaust to help promote even better flow so that your engine can perform the best, right? So we're gonna be doing a 3.5-inch dump with this G30, and that's gonna make sure that we get a nice amount of flow away from the engine as quick as possible. Previously, a lot of the older technology stuff, especially in Japan, it used to actually have a lot of back pressure issues. You'd see turbo kits for the SR with like 2.5-inch dump pipes, which just is not enough, especially when you're running like 1.6 to 1.8 bar of boost, which is mind-blowing. But anyways, that's what we're doing. G30 660 with a 3.5 dump, and then we'll be going to a full, pretty much 3.5-inch exhaust all the way out as well, which is gonna help this thing breathe and make sure we make a lot of response and a lot of power in the top end. The hard part of the downpipe is now complete. All of these, I guess, pie cuts or lobstering, we call it, turned out pretty good. I'm really happy with my welds and progression. This is gonna go in there so that we can do at least first start and nothing be blowing against the firewall or hoses or anything. Sorry, I'm a little tired. I've been up since 6 working on this, so getting stuff done. Only thing I need to do so I can start this is an oil drain and 1 water line, and then we're good to go. So Daikie's gonna put this on, and I'm gonna smash out 2 AN hoses, and hopefully the next clip is this thing starting for the first time in 2 years. I think. Maybe it's been that long? Has it been that long? Has it been 2 years, Daikie?
I think you went to last Suzuka Twin or something.
Was that last year?
No.
That was like 2 years ago.
You were like FTJ too, I think.
Yeah, so that's like 2 years ago. Yep, okay, confirmed. It's finally time to crank this thing. We've got the cam angle sensor disconnected so we can build some oil pressure. Usual things that you should do when the car's sat for a long time. So we're gonna crank a fair bit and then we'll start it. Oh no.
No sale.
You guys won't believe this. We forgot the most important thing. Listen to this. Do you know what that is? We still haven't taken the starter motor out, drilled the holes, and then put it in the transmission yet. So it's just sitting there loose. So we need to fix that first.
A few moments later.
Now we should be ready to crank this thing. I hope. Okay, Dougie, connect it. All right. It's been too long since I've heard God's motor. I'm stoked on that. I'm gonna let it sit. We still have a lot to do tomorrow. I can hear some exhaust leaks and stuff. Well, honestly, there's a huge exhaust leak because we don't have a proper downpipe, but thing sounds genki or full of life. I can't wait. Now we just gotta do all the tedious kind of 10%, last 10% stuff and we'll be good. But in this video, we had it running by the end of it, and that's the main thing. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Tell me what's the first thing you want to see me do with this. I think we're going to finish this and go straight to the dyno it properly, and then paint and body, and it'll come back in a month's time and it'll look mint. But yeah, what's the first track we need to drive this on? Do we need to do like a whole homage and go to Nikko Circuit and maybe use it in, what do you reckon? What's the competition at Nikko?
I don't know.
All Stars?
But I recommend Ebis Minami first.
Ebisu Minami? This guy. Alright guys, like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.
やめてください。Are you a wobbly hobby?
What?